The following are properties, original work, creations, and ideas of Kelebogile Sehoa. The ElementRings brand includes, but is not limited to, the ElementRings Pty Ltd company, the ElementRings script, comic book or manga script, characters, movie script, ElementRings merchandise, and Negu brand. All rights claimed and reserved by Kelebogile Sehoa. Hello, and welcome back to ElementRings. Here's a quick recap before we continue. Mero was angered by what the four physicists were doing, so he released a shockwave that decimated the Department of Chemistry and Physics. Botlhale's ring reacted to the shockwave and sent him on an inner body experience where he saw four shadows with one coming after him. Now let's continue with the story. Since Botlhale's monstrous scream and Buleng's question, the rest of Botlhale's group of friends became extra concerned. They had questions for Botlhale. Mendy and Botlhale are now at a tap, with Botlhale drinking some water, struggling to swallow as he was still disoriented. "Take your time, Botlhale, I'm here," Mendy says while helping Botlhale stand straight. She looks at him and his face is empty. There was no expression whatsoever. Back at the class, the other children were chattering and making noise about what they had just witnessed. Miss Kayla yelled, "Settle down, kids. Let me go check up on Botlhale." She exits the class and walks to the tab section while thinking, "I have a bad feeling about this." At the very same time, Botlhale and Mendy were heading back to their class. Miss Kasi stopped them and said, "Mendy, you continue on to class. I need to speak to Botlhale for a sec." Mendy tried to say something, but Kayla stopped her and said, "Not now, Mendy. Do as you're told." Mendy then left for class and left Botlhale and their teacher alone. Kayla asked, "Botlhale, I noticed the bandages immediately after coming into class earlier this morning. I just didn't want to ask you in front of the other kids. How are you holding up?" Botlhale replied, "It still hurts. Didn't help when Mendy hugged me a while ago, but I'll be fine." Of course, he was lying now that he is healed. Botlhale then says, "I need to sit down, ma'am. May I please go back to class?" Kayla, who realized that Botlhale was going through a lot, said, "Okay, go on." Botlhale walked off as Kayla was left itching to ask about the monstrous scream and black eyes as she followed behind Botlhale. Back at the Pilafela residence, Botlhale's parents were doing the laundry when they felt the rumbling of the incident that took place back at the Department of Chemistry and Physics. They asked each other, "Was that an earthquake?" Matlohonolo then thought, "I hope my boys are okay." Tiseto's family were in their living room when they felt the earthquake. They were still amidst the preparation for Jonathan's funeral. The effects made Jonathan's father ask, "Is everyone okay?" Letabo, her mother and grandmother all say, "We're okay." Tisetso looks up to the side and thinks, "That wasn't no earthquake. I wonder where that mysterious rock is." He then switches on the television. Immediately after putting it on, the SABC officers and staff were reporting on the matter at hand. "Our resources say the rumbling was no earthquake, but we do know that it came from the Department of Chemistry and Physics." At this point, the firemen were already at the site putting out the fire and helping the employees get free from all the rubble. Mero then thinks, "That should get them off my back until I'm able to get out of here." It was now 10:03. Elsewhere, at the house of the fireman who took the small rock that fell from the bigger one back at Manlane Mall. He was still fast asleep until he woke up abruptly, also due to the shockwave. It was as if he was dreaming something out of this world. The smaller stone was reacting to the shockwave made by the one back at that chemistry and physics department. The fireman sees a light coming from one of his drawers. What is that? The fireman asked himself. He goes over to the drawer and opens it up. He sees the stone and says, "It's the stone I picked up back at the mall." He picks it up and continues to marvel at it. He was too captivated by it, so much so that he didn't hear his phone ring until it rang several more times. He quickly ran to it and picked it up. "Hello, who is this?" the fireman asked. "This is your boss, you numbskull. Not only did you leave work without reporting why on Friday back at the mall, but now you are not even at work. You'd better hurry here quickly, Charles. That's if you value your job," his boss said furiously. Charles then replied, "Sorry about that, sir. Let me hurry to the fire station stat." He wasn't aware that his boss had hung up. "Hello, hello," Charles said while looking at his phone. He then said he hung up. How rude. As he was looking at his phone, he saw the time and it was 10:07. Crap, I'm really late. He quickly exited his room to go freshen up. As he was hurrying to the bathroom, he heard the TV say, "Luckily, the fire department is here at the Department of Chemistry and Physics." Charles paused and looked at the screen and listened some more. The news reporter continued, "We are not sure what happened, but we do know that it has something to do with the huge rock recovered from Manlane Mall this past Friday." This grabs Charles's attention even more, and he saw the damage that resulted from the explosion. He then said to himself, "Holy moly." He then starts clenching his hands, and that's when he realized that all this time he had still the stone in his left hand. He looks at it and thinks, "What the hell are you?" Charles then walks to the bathroom while looking at the rock, still not placing it anywhere else but within the confines of his hand. All of a sudden, he hears a sound. Charles then looks around and says, "Is anybody there?" He did this several times, then thought, "I must be going crazy. Maybe I should get checked when I get to work," he said while heading to the bathroom to quickly take a shower. And that's the end of the 46th release. As you all heard, most people felt the effects of the shockwave. People just didn't believe that it was an earthquake. Charles is late for work, but he is more concerned about what the rock he has really is. Please stay tuned for the next audio. Don't forget to like, comment, view, subscribe, and interact in the comment section. Thanks for the support, and bye for now.